So very, very good morning to you, Waqas. How
Oh,
long is it since we've seen each other? How many years?
oh, good question. Five, I want to say.
That's such a long time. I,
Four, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. So
Yeah,
quite some time, quite some time. It's really lovely
a
to,
long while. Yeah,
it is, it's lovely to have a reason to reconnect,
absolutely.
other than online on LinkedIn. So thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to share your experiences.
Oh, of
I'm
course, this is
sure
an important topic.
uh,
Yeah.
I I agree. So, start off, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're working, and then we'll delve in later on in the conversation as to kind of the relevance to the apprenticeship in terms of your role now. So, what are you doing? What does it involve?
So I work as an Alumni Engagement Officer at the University of West of England in Bristol.
Yes.
And the bulk of my job tends to involve helping new graduates with their next steps. So that's providing them with what they need as their next steps, whether it's the options of what is available to them, whether it's telling them more about postgraduate options that are accessible for them. Yeah, that's my day-to-day role.
Do you find that they have kind of no knowledge, or is it more a case of perhaps you're using, or dare I say, some coaching skills to help them identify next steps?
I think it's a mixture of both. So I often talk to the graduates either at graduation or at specific events so during the final year.
Mm.
And that's usually the time to tell them about the options that are still available to them once they've graduated. And then the other part is usually just because it's so specific to them, and we try and tailor all our messaging to the individuals. It's almost tell us what you need,
Mm.
as well as here is a breadth of all the options that are available to you.
Very, very pleased to hear that. Always in my world, whether it's training or coaching, less telling, more asking, involving.
Absolutely.
So fabulous. So I'm going to ask you to cast your mind back maybe 6 or 7 years, quite a long time. Why did you choose an apprenticeship?
Oh, this is the big question. So I was at that moment, we cast it back to 2017. I was a primary school teacher at the time, starting to become a bit jaded. I had done business studies as my first degree and then transitioned into primary school teaching. And then I thought, well, I have a business degree, but it's not relevant in the same information that I was taught because
Mm.
at that in 2017, 2018, there was Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, all of these things that were not available when it was in 2008 that I started my business degree.
Make a good point. Yeah.
And so the technology had just changed so much that even though I had the basic knowledge of marketing and contractual law and other elements of that side, what I didn't have was the real world kind of application options. So that was one of the big reasons why I chose to do an apprenticeship. And the other one was because it would put me in touch with an employer who would teach me the skills. And if I do well, I would have a reference at the end of it.
Mm.
If I do really well and the employer and my philosophy kind of fits together and it's a good sort of partnership,
Mm.
I might have a job at the end as well. So newly married, just moved to Bristol, so it was a totally new place for me as well. It's like, okay, well, how do I make those connections in a way that will have a meaningful impact in the future?
So lots and lots of reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've actually explained as well your choice for choosing a digital marketing apprenticeship. But you may or may not be aware that's subsequently evolved into multi-channel marketer.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
broader apprenticeship,
yeah.
which I would say we probably touched on a lot of the stuff together anyway. but it's going into more detail in a sort of broad scale. It's good. It's good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've obviously completed your apprenticeship quite a long time ago. How much did it play a role in getting you to where you are now? So how relevant was it? What have you taken from the course in order to appeal to different employers, and what do you use on a daily basis?
Oh, great question. There are so many different skills that I use on a day-to-day basis that I learned from our course. Just the transition of information from an idea into a reality, putting it into a digital world so that it's visible to more people. Promotion of any kind of content that we make now, it goes through a multi-channel strategy. So that's why I'm really intrigued to know that
Mm.
that digital marketing course is now turned into a multi-channel, because that's basically what we were learning,
Yes,
but it wasn't officially named as that.
we were ahead of our time.
Exactly. You were a maverick that paved the way. Um, so yeah, I would say those things. But also just basic talking to people, teamwork, those key skills of resilience that we learned. So even when things aren't going well and the statistics aren't showing the things that we want to see from a positive engagement side, it's almost like, well, rather than getting down, it's more a case of, well, what can we do in the future to improve on that for the next time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you always are so incredibly positive in any situation. That's what I see or have seen. Can you comment? Again, I am, casting your mind back quite a few years. Depending on the apprenticeship, it's very usual to have a very broad range in every respect of the people on the course. And sometimes that can be age. I mean, I have taught, not your cohort, I've taught probably the one who sticks in my head is probably 16 to 55 plus. So all in one cohort together, and which I think is just fabulous. And if you can remember vaguely who you were working with, obviously without the names, um, what did that contribute to your learning experience, being exposed to this really diverse amount of people?
I think I think the range wasn't as big as 16 to 55, but
It
it
wasn't your
was
cohort, yeah.
I think I was definitely on the older side in comparison to some of the other students. But I didn't see that as a negative at all. It was very much I was never treated as a 30 something year old. It was very much just a
Yeah, yeah.
student. And I think because I had some previous knowledge of business and other things,
Mm.
it kind of made things a lot easier for me. But I found it much more beneficial for me as well when I was working with someone else and I was helping them,
Mm.
because that kind of strengthened my knowledge, but also just made them feel more confident. And it was like our work improved so much more
Yeah.
when it was the two of us collaborating together.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping you was going to say something along those lines.
Oh,
It really is. It's very common. Perhaps the younger people, they might attend college for the first day thinking, oh, who am I going to be with? They might all know
yeah,
more than me. And then maybe sometimes the very more mature people arrive thinking exactly the same for different reasons. And by
yeah,
lunchtime, everyone's just loving being with each other and learning from each other. And it's just, I mean, the workplace is full of a diverse
exactly.
range.
There's so many different age ranges.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so thank you very much for that. What
Well,
do
I have to, sorry,
Yeah,
just
it's
to
fine, carry on.
disrupt for just a second.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to
do.
credit you and the other teachers as well, because you gave us that environment to kind of just feel more relaxed and at ease. So even during the online sessions, it wasn't a case of this is online, therefore there is less of a connection or anything. No, you and everybody else did really well to kind of develop that connection in a way that felt natural to me, at least. So yeah, thank you.
No, you're very welcome, and thank you very much for that specific feedback.
Absolutely.
That's really, really good to hear. What do you think? It might be hard to pinpoint one thing. What do you think was your biggest learning overall from doing the apprenticeship? It could be, skills based, it could be personal development. What do you think was the one most important factor that's influenced your, career and your own self-development as a result? So the one most important learning.
I think it's that not, well, most things aren't permanent. So most of the decisions that are made aren't permanent. You can easily pivot if you need to. If something isn't working, you don't have to be stuck in this moment of, okay, well, this is my decision. I now have to live with it. It's almost like, okay, this is my decision. I made it. Could I change anything, or could I, divert to a different field? So that really was one of the biggest things, because that helped me to go from a digital marketing agency, which was really focused on
Yeah.
Facebook ads and kind of selling, to a company slash business slash organization of a university where the focus is less on selling and more on helping, which kind of fits more with my philosophy and why I enjoy my job a lot more now, because it gives me a sort of value that I was missing, I think, at the beginning.
And you, excuse me, you touched on that earlier on in our conversation today. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was around, the importance of making sure that your values are aligned with whoever you are working with. And it's
Yeah.
something I talk about in different training. Um, it's so important. It's so important. So really lovely to hear that as well. And lastly, what advice would you give to somebody who was considering any apprenticeship?
Oh, I think my biggest advice would be, it's always an option. No matter what age you get to, there's always the option to study and to learn more. Um, to get hands-on experience is always really great, especially for me, because I enjoy the sort of learning through doing things. Um, yeah, and it always depends on the circumstances of the person. So it's very specific to them and kind of the reasons for why they might consider it, but also why they might choose to do it in the future as well.
Mm.
But I would say, yeah, it's always an option. So I always keep it in as a on your list of potential things that you could do.
So make sure that perhaps, depending on where you are in your career, you at least consider it
Absolutely. Yeah,
as an option to either enhance your skill set or to
yeah,
perhaps, set you off on your career at the very beginning.
exactly. And if you're not enjoying the career that you're in now, it's an option to pivot as well. So, yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you very much indeed. It's been so lovely to reconnect. Is there anything else you'd like to add for anybody listening?
I think that you are a fantastic teacher, so it's just really nice to catch up to you.
I wasn't fishing for compliments, but I'll take.
No, but it's readily given. At any moment that I get a chance to talk about you in a positive light, I will take that opportunity.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. You've made my day.
Oh,
Thank you very much indeed.
absolutely.